Hello, friends. Today we are going to read a new story, Rob the Recycler. Rob the raccoon and Don the hare were good friends in school. They were all grown up now. Many years had passed since they last met. But Don was coming to town in a week. Rob was excited to meet him. A week later, Rob was at the bus stop waiting for his friend. When the bus drove in, Rob was afraid that Don would not recognize him. Don stepped out of the bus. Rob saw that Don hadn't changed at all. Don hugged his friend and said, Rob, you look so different. You have become such a big raccoon. And Rob replied, You have grown too, but you still look the same as the Don from the school times. They laughed. It felt so good to meet each other. Don was going to live at Rob's house. Rob couldn't wait to show his friend what his life was like. But when the door creaked open, Don stood frozen in the doorway. The house was such a mess. There was trash everywhere. A giant pile of pizza boxes stood in one corner. It was taller than Rob and had flies buzzing over it. Don asked, Why do you have pile of pizza boxes in that corner? I like pizza, but I don't like to go out too much, so I ordered in, said Rob. Don couldn't understand why he hadn't thrown them away. The house looked very gloomy. Don sat for a while and stared at the room. Then he said, Congratulations, buddy. I have the perfect idea. I'm giving you a home makeover. You will love it. But Rob didn't like the idea at all. He thought that his friend was making fun of his house. Don would not take a no for an answer. Don't worry, it's going to be fun, he told Rob. The next morning, Don was already hopping around when Rob woke up. Good morning, Rob. What are you doing today? He asked his friend. Rob told Don all about his day. He planned to take Don shopping for food. There was a farmer's market that sold the freshest, most delicious fruits and vegetables. After that, they could visit his mother. But Don had other plans. Don, are you going to do that silly makeover thing? Rob asked. Don simply shooed him away. Don't worry about anything. Go to the farmer's market. I will see you in the evening, he said. When evening came, Rob was back. He stood at his door and knocked. I'm coming. Wait for 5 minutes. Don called out from inside, but Rob didn't have any patience. He did, however, have the keys to the door. So he opened the door and stepped inside. Welcome home, cried Don. But Rob didn't recognize his home at all. Everything looked so neat and tidy. There was nothing on the floor. Rob could actually see the color of the tiles. The walls seemed to sparkle. They had been scrubbed clean. How did you do this? Asked Rob. With wonder, Don giggled. It's very simple. Everything in your house has a place. If you put everything in its place, your house look like this, said Don, having his hand around the neat house. I always have so much that I run out of place to keep things, said Rob. Don smiled. You need the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle, he said. What, and what now? Asked Rob. He was confused. It seemed like so many words to remember. Don calmed him down. The key, he explained, was to plan things out. Rob wasn't very good at planning things, so Don said that he would help him. Because of the way Don had arranged the rooms, Rob could see that everything had its own place. All the books were on one shelf together. The CDs had whole other shelf to themselves. The food in his fridge was arranged in neat rows. The fruits were kept on one shelf and the vegetables were on another shelf. This would help Rob to know when he was running out of something. R for reduce, Don explained. Always buy only what you need and nothing more. R for reuse. You must reuse everything that you can. You can reuse all those plastic bottles by filling them up with fresh water. R for recycle. Sometimes you have to throw things away. Collect all the paper, plastic, and metal garbage in separate bins. You can give this to the recycle center in town. Rob was fascinated. He didn't know that the town had a recycle center. Don made neat piles of old newspapers and cans. Together, they went to the recycle center. Everyone was happy to see them. They loved it when someone new discovered the joy of recycling. But Rob didn't let Don throw the pizza boxes away. He knew exactly what to do with them. Don was happy that his friend was so excited about this recycling, but he didn't know what they were going to do with the pizza boxes. Are they making a computer stand or a little stool? But Rob already had an idea. I want to make a birdhouse. When I was little, there were so many birds outside my window. They would sing me a good morning song. I would keep seeds and treats outside for them to eat. But I don't think they like my new house. If I'll make a birdhouse, they may want to visit me again. Don got the glue and scissors. Soon they were merely making a birdhouse. In a few days, the roof of Bob's house was covered with birds. They were all singing and tweeting and hooting and tooting. It was extremely noisy. Rob was happy. I like having trippy neighbors, he told Don. Thank you for teaching me about recycling. When I don't waste, I have so much more. The days flew by and soon it was time for Don to go home. The two friends had an almost tearful farewell. Thanks for teaching me about the 3 R's. Goodbye, Don the Hare, said Rob. Goodbye, Rob the Recycler, said Don. He was happy that his friend had learned something new. They both hugged each other and said goodbye.